But when is CEO of Standard Chartered, welcome to the National. Xi Jinping and Donald Trump are set to meet very, very soon. The mood music is good. How important is it that we get a trade deal of substance? Bill, good morning.
First of all, thanks for having me. I think it's quite important that at least they show that the momentum is in the right direction. And that's rolling back some of the recent tit-for-tat escalation. Some of that's already happened implicitly. It needs to happen explicitly. I don't think anybody imagines that any of these trade deals is straightforward. And the complexity of the US-China relationship, especially since they've effectively brought in some of the security-related issues with export controls and critical minerals restrictions and all that, it's a super complicated package. But if the two leaders demonstrate and indicate an intent, not just a willingness, but an intent to resolve those issues, which they have rhetorically, at least through channels, that's a step in the right direction. The markets are obviously expecting a lot in that regard, right? The markets have priced in a happy outcome. So I think a material winding back would be quite painful for the market.
If there's a deal, as you say, and we price a lot in, do you think it will impact the flow of capital into China, into Hong Kong?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact is, China has some outstanding technologies and some outstanding capacity to create product for China, big market, and the rest of the world. But it's very reluctant to move into China right now for a whole bunch of reasons. But one of them is, it's not clear where the products can be sold out the back end, other than in mainland China. So I think if you look at the really major rally that we've seen in Chinese equity markets, that's the international community saying, we believe that there's really good businesses in China, and we want to be part of that. Now, the next step is for corporations who are making long-term decisions, right? An equity allocation is a short-term decision. Going in and investing in a plant or taking a stake in a company or buying a distribution network in China, that's a long-term investment. You need confidence, and a substantial framework for trade and the rest would be very helpful for channeling that capital.
Do you have that confidence, especially when you see Hong Kong property market off nearly 30% from its high? That raises a flare for me. Does it raise a flare for you?
Well, we have huge confidence in China and Hong Kong. Our business is extremely good. We're reporting earnings tomorrow, so I won't say anything ahead of that. But certainly through the half year, we had no material Hong Kong real estate problems. We were very transparent about the nature of the portfolio because we've always been a conservative lender. So I'm not. Is a property downturn a good thing for an economy? No, right? But really, it becomes a bad thing if it infects the banking system, because then it cascades through to the rest of the economy. That's not happening in Hong Kong. It didn't happen in China, largely through the action of the central bank and the government, which protected the banking system from the property decompression. But hey, we've been through, in my 4 decades in finance, we've been through many property crises in many different markets, some global, some local. They hurt when they happen, but you get through them. And where it really hurts is when you infect the banking system. And that's not happening this time.
And we've had the opportunity to catch up this morning in a different form. We talked about private credit. The question for the markets, and every meeting I go to here is this. You've got First Brands, which is an auto company bankruptcy, and you've got Tricolor, which is a subprime auto lender. How close are we to something akin to 2008 GFC, or how far away are we from that kind of an event in credit?
I don't think we're anywhere close to, and I don't think we will be anywhere close to a whole-on financial crisis, for the very simple reason that the financial system, banks are still very important in the financial system, but we're not alone. But the banking system, the private credit industry, the non-bank finance industry is in very good shape. Big capital levels, good earnings, good loan quality, but the credit cycle hasn't expired, right? We still live in a world where credit cycles come. And what happens in credit cycles is that weak companies go bust, or frauds become discovered. And maybe in these cases, which we don't have any material exposure to, maybe there's a bit of both. But yeah, if there's a downturn in the economy or a change in sentiment in credit, there will be losses. That's what happens, and that's fine.
Jamie Dimon, who you know well, he saw cockroaches. KKR are worried about people without driver's license in private credit. What do you see?
We don't see insects or vermin. We're very happy with our portfolio. But look, I think the point that Jamie was making was when there's pressure on the corporate world for any reason, it could be geopolitics, it could be interest rates, it could be slow economic growth or a recession. Just pressure. that companies that have been clinging on by their fingernails give up and they fall. And if there's one, there's a possibility that there's others. But this, I just come back to the central observation that the credit cycle is not dead. It's been very benign for quite a while. We don't see any sign that it's about to turn right now either, but at some point it will.
Let's finish off with this. The Fed are set to cut. It's expected that they will cut today. Are you concerned that they're cutting blind of data and perhaps moving into a more political Federal Reserve?
I think they've been, what do I know? I don't know, but I think they've been very assiduous not to allow the Fed to become politicized. It probably helps that the chairman's term is up in May of next year anyway, so is he going to compromise his integrity or whatever in giving the appearance of being a supplicant to politics in his last 6 months? I don't think so. It's not the man that I know in any case. So I think they're taking decisions based on sluggish economic activity in the U.S., sluggish job market, although it seems to be stabilizing at this lower level, at least the recent data suggests, and sticky inflation, not catastrophic, but sticky. And that package, I think I guess what we'll see is 25 basis point cut with a narrative that it's precautionary or preemptive or something like that, which means it can go the other way if the data suggests something else.
Bill Winters, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on The National.
Nice to see you.
Bill Winters.